Teen Wolf was fun, for what it's worth. But at the end of the day, how could something like that happen in the real world? Think about it. You're a teenager, hormones are running wild, and you have to deal with a subconscious urge to tear living things apart. Everyone tries to make sense of it, but no one understands. And when they do, it's too late. Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Confessional, and this is Dave from Redbox, and I'm accompanied by my wife, Jenn, also from Redbox, and it is the 31 days of Halloween. And what movie are we talking about? It is Ginger Snaps. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
Some people see the world full of white picket fences and happy endings. Sisters Ginger and Bridget see the world from the opposite end of the spectrum. For them, a girl can only be a slut, a bitch, a tease, or the virgin next door. They embrace the reality that so many people turn a blind eye to, and for that, they're outcasts who delve into school projects on the macabre. That is until one day they encounter the Bailey Downs monster, a werewolf that leaves his mark with Ginger. Now the sisters must contend with something else. Ginger's slow transformation into a werewolf.
This is one of the rare movies, unlike yours, when it comes to horror movies, that I did not like the first time I watched it. And I went back to watch it after we seen the second one, which the second one was, I think, by far the best in the franchise. I just love part two. And the way we're doing 31 Days of Halloween this year is there are several movies that are a part of this discussion that are number ones. So it doesn't mean that necessarily the number one is better than a sequel or a third part. It's just we want to go in that order. So Ginger Snaps is the start of hopefully 31 Days of Halloween, where we'll get through all three of those and share our thoughts on it. Now, what did you think of this one?
Okay, so I didn't like this one the first time I saw it either.
I know where she's going, right? We talked about it with Malignant and other reviews. Drum roll. Go ahead.
In fact, I didn't like it the first few times I saw it. And it's still not one of my favorites out of the ones that we watched for Halloween. Not because the story is done poorly or the acting is terrible, though some of the acting is questionable. My thing is the cringy scenes. I can't deal with the licking blood and eating it and thinking it tastes good. It just, nope. It turns my stomach.
This movie is about a girl that is infected with becoming a lichen, a werewolf. And she is going through the slow transition into becoming a werewolf, not the Hollywood versions like, oh my god, it's a full moon. I'm going to turn into a werewolf every time it's a full moon.
Yeah.
No, we're kind of dealing with a more realistic version of this story. Not like Teen Wolf.
No, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like in the other Hollywood movies, you know, with like the full moon, there seems to be a full moon like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, we all know that doesn't happen, right? I mean, so what I did like about this one is that where Ginger wasn't keeping track, her sister was.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a calendar. She was keeping track of her sister's cycle as a woman and also of when the full moon was going to happen so that she could prepare and knew like how much time she had and that sort of thing. So that was done really well because like I said, we don't have a full moon that often.
True. This is one of those horror movies that is grounded in reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's aware that, oh my god, there's Hollywood versions of werewolves that exist, and we're going to talk about, hey, can a silver bullet kill somebody? Can wolfsbane kill a werewolf? We're going to go into all those, fact-finding ideas when Ginger is infected with it, because her sister wants to save her, right? She doesn't want to see her go down whatever path that she's on and, eventually get shot like a Hollywood movie. So it is perfectly told where it is grounded in reality. Now, where I didn't like it the first time is I thought it was kind of corny at the time when I was first watching it. And the reason being is I didn't have daughters at the time. So the situation has kind of changed for me, having watched it the second time and seeing, these two sisters, how they interact with each other and how they're interacting with, the typical shit that we all deal with in high school. You're either the in crowd, you're the outcast crowd, or you're just flying under the radar. And these two sisters are the outcasts. So they're the target from the in crowd. And, they embrace it, which I thought was awesome. So, they're not looking at, it's like, oh my God, I'm the outcast, I need to fit in, or all this other bullshit like you see in the 90s movies, like She's All That, or these other movies like, oh, I'm going to turn the ugly duckling into this beautiful princess, and now she's going to be loved by everybody. No, these girls accept what they're at, they embrace it, they deal with it, and that's the life they live. And that's, in fact, the pact that they have. 16, I think it's 16 years together or we're out, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
I'm poorly paraphrasing that. Lead character Ginger is played by Katharine Isabelle. She is in Freddy vs. Jason, American Mary, Girl in the Photograph. I honestly was hoping for her to be the modern age Scream Queen, because she's been in some excellent horror movies.
Emily Perkins, who plays her sister Bridget, was in Supernatural. She was in Stephen King's It, the original. She was Beverly Marsh as a child.
The TV miniseries.
Yeah, the TV miniseries, the one with Tim Curry. Emily Perkins was also in Juno. Okay, so they were both in the movie Insomnia. And after this movie, they played sisters again in one of the Cinderella remakes. I don't know exactly which one. There's been many. But they were like the mean girls, so like the plastics.
Wow. So
yeah, so I kind of have to check it out just because I need to see what these two are like when they're those girls.
They went from the outcast to the plastics.
Yeah. Katharine Isabelle and Emily Perkins shared many things in common. Both were born in the same hospital, attended the same schools.
Really?
Yes. Had the same agent, and were represented by the same casting agency in Vancouver. As a result, they had known each other for years before being cast in this movie. Funny enough, Emily Perkins played Katharine Isabelle's younger sister by about a year, despite the fact that she's 5 years older.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. It's nice when you can come up with your friends.
Yeah, definitely.
There are other characters that are in this movie that I thought was really cool, like the mom and dad relationship that you were calling out all the time. Is like that was the comic relief of the film, which was very good.
It was. So the mom was actually played by Mimi Rogers, who is no stranger. Seriously? She's a big actress. She's no stranger to television, movies, any of that.
Stranger to me.
Because he doesn't pay attention. Anyway. And she was like that quintessential nerd mom with like her sweaters that matched her hair, her little bows that she put in her hair. I mean, really just doing her hair in a way that you should never do if you're over the age of 25. Yeah, it wasn't a good look. And the father, he just kind of sat there and nodded and smiled once in a while.
Yeah, his reactions were just on point in this movie.
Yeah, he just had the best reactions, and most of the time he didn't even say anything. It was just his facial expressions, it was great. He was funny.
Now, I forgot to write down his name, but Sam was the person that was helping Bridget with the situation with Ginger. He was great. And
Yeah.
watching this another time, he just really stands out.
Mm.
Really good character. Kind of feel like he was a little bit influenced from the Monster Squad and some other films that we
Hmm.
saw along those lines. Like, hey, it's a reality, and we're also dealing with monsters that we know are based in Hollywood,
Hmm.
but now we have to kind of fight them and figure this stuff out. His character was really good.
Yeah.
You don't see him in many things, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think about this movie. Ginger Snaps is under the radar, I feel. I know when it first came out, it was actually very hard to get this on DVD. So luckily I worked at Blockbuster and we sold some of our copies as used, so I was able to get a copy of it. But like I said, despite hating it the first time I seen it, when the second one came out, I was like, I'm going to watch it because my interest was piqued. And it paid off because this is a great franchise to watch. So if you have the time, watch 1, 2, and 3 all together. We'll talk about part 2 next year. We're not going to get into it now. And I really, really wanted to talk about part 2 this year, and I had to pull it off the list and start from the beginning so that everybody be caught up with it. So let us know what your rating of this film is. It's our second and last werewolf movie for the 31 Days of Halloween. There's not that many of them out there, like we said in Dog Soldiers. So watch this one. Come back. Let us know what you think about it. I love Wes Craven, but Cursed and this movie, there are light years apart. This blows Cursed out of the water, even if you are a Wes Craven fan. So, yeah.
So don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share.
Yes, definitely share. Still holding up strong with these t-shirts. Wasn't planned. I've gotten all the t-shirts wrong to go along with the episodes, but the big bad werewolf shirt is with this episode. So until tomorrow, see
See
ya.
ya.